That might not be the case if it's down to the last lap or two, Marty, but right now, very early stages of this race, he knows what kind of mistake he could have made if he had kept his foot on the gas.
The top 5 have pulled away from the rest of the field by 4.3 seconds. There you can see that top group. Then you have to wait quite a bit until everybody else comes into view. Helio Castroneves is the last member of that freight train, and tip of the hat to the 14 of Vitor Meira. Here's the second group with Tony Kanaan leading that freight train. Hideki Muto, Mario Moraes, EJ Vizo, and Ryan Hunter-Reay is now in 10th, folks. And this car yesterday, I'm telling you, it was junk. It just would not work by itself. Jamie, what's the latest you're hearing?
Well, junk was the word yesterday. Absolutely. He was 24th out of 27 cars in practice. I asked him what was going on. He said the car was so bad, they quieted the rear end, added a bunch more front wing, and the plan was to do even more overnight. That seems to be working for him. He's saying the car is just a bit loose right now on the first round of pit stops. He's just going to make the rear bar a little softer to help that out.
So he continues. Vince, what have you got from pit lane?
Well, Marco Andretti is having a fantastic run as you get a look at his teammate there, Ryan Hunter-Reay. But Marco started 26th, and he's up 15 spots. One of the additions of this Andretti Autosport team, Ryan Hunter-Reay, I think has been one of the keys to the resurgence of a Kanaan and a Marco Andretti. He has really raised the bar, and he's given another driver to that fold that provides data, setup information. It's been a real key to the success of this Andretti Autosport team as you see that battle up front.
And it is getting better, Vince, because, Scott Dixon now pulls to the high side of Ryan Briscoe. Look at how close these are going through the corners, and this is what we're used to seeing here at Kansas.
And remember, this is 210, 212 miles an hour, and it seems like Dixon is not content just to sort of sit back and maybe try and save fuel. I think he wants to get up front and lead some of this and maybe have an opportunity to collect some points for most laps led.
There's your Firestone telemetry.
Oh, so close, Marty. Look at that. The left front, the right rear. As we look at the telemetry right now.
Still outside.
Spot information coming for Ryan Briscoe, telling him that Dixon is still outside. Some traffic is just ahead, already entering up into turn 3 and 4. Looks like the 66 of Jay Howard possibly they'll be coming up to. And as Briscoe goes up, he'll see down the stretch here that he's got to make a run at this. And I think Dixon is going to look to have a run around the high side. He wants to put his car in place, so when they come up to the traffic, Marty, he might be able to take advantage of that.
Oh, so close. He's tucked right up underneath him. Now goes to the outside once again. Traffic in front of him is the 34 of Roman Cini. Whoa, that was close.
Yes, the 34 cars are identical, that and the 66 with Jay Howard, but the traffic will stay on the low side as they were instructed through the drivers' meeting. And on the back side of that now, as they've been fighting, Dario Franchitti in the 10 machine is now coming into play.
So the top 3 still running very close together. Briscoe, Dixon, Franchitti, then it's another second back to Meira and Helio Castroneves. Stay with us. We've only got 28 laps, now 29. After this message and a word from our ABC stations. Back here at Kansas Speedway, we have a new leader, Scott Dixon. We've got to talk to him about waiting until we're in side-by-side before he makes the pass. He took the lead from Ryan Briscoe just a few moments ago, and you can see the margin right now as he has got that number 9 Target Ganassi car on a rail.
It looks like Briscoe just left the bottom side open just a little bit for whatever reason. And then for Scott Dixon, he filled it and turned around, came through the front stretch. Now we can see how close they are.
Side by side with him. Still there. Still there. Clear, but not by much. Clear by half right now.
Clear by not by much. I love that 360-degree onboard camera because you can see everything. And Dixon now has opened up a 1-second lead. He's coming up on traffic, though. That's Simona Di Silvestro as she is about to go a lap down. As we go a little bit further back into the field, after the top 5 of Briscoe, Franchitti, Meira, and Castroneves, you got to go another 5 seconds back to Tony Kanaan in 6th, and he's got his hands full with EJ Vizo closing in on him, and you saw the gap right there.
You know, and for Tony Kanaan, he's running very respectable laps. He's just over 209 miles an hour. And the leader right now, Dixon, is running 210. So they certainly have improved those Andretti Autosport cars. And as we're on board now with Danica, we'll just sort of see, watch her steering wheel. Let's see how the car is working for her. Listen to the throttle. Off the throttle. If the car's working well for you, Marty, you should be flat out around here. As we watch the Firestone telemetry, let's just watch the numbers here going into turn 3, 4. Way off, and that looks like a car that she's not very happy with right now, Vince Wells, as she's getting off the throttle a fair amount in the middle of the turn.
Interesting, Scott, that Danica told us before the race that she thought she was going to have a car that she was going to like in race conditions. You know, she's working with engineer Eddie Jones, and Eddie Jones has been around this Andretti group for a long time. Very confident that this is a winning combination. Tom Anderson handling her strategy said he really likes the chemistry between Eddie and Danica. Remember, this is one of those races that you got to have your car just right the last 50 laps, not necessarily the first 50.
But you don't want to go a lap down, that's for sure. And right now, Danica 13 seconds behind the race lead in 16th position. Let's check in on Dan Wheldon, because surprisingly, this was the guy we thought would be slicing and dicing his way to the front. He is in 22nd position. He's the next car to go a lap down. He's 24 seconds back.
And very surprised, because he really thought this morning that his car would be able to be up towards the front in a short amount of time. Matter of fact, he thought he'd lead that charge with Andretti behind him, but that's not the case, Vince Welsh. He's just not up to speed.
This team had to make a decision, Scott. They had to decide whether they wanted to go with more downforce to get them through the traffic with a stable race car, or less downforce that would allow them to run up front with the leaders once they got to the front. They chose less downforce, and now they're regretting it, because Dan Wheldon does not have the race car that can handle in traffic. And as Jamie Little mentioned earlier, the wind gusts have picked up down here. That's been an issue as well. Definitely looking forward to their first pit stop where they can make some changes to make this car better for Dan Wheldon.
Well, he's in jeopardy of going a lap down. In fact, as we head for side-by-side, he is going to go a lap down, because there goes Scott Dixon. Scott Dixon is making this his own show right now in the early goings of this race at lap 48. Here comes Ryan Briscoe in for his first pit stop, Jamie Little.
And he's the first one, the first taker onto pit road, has a little push in 3 and 4. That again was because of the wind, as he told me yesterday. You see a turn on the front wing, 4 tires. Ryan Briscoe is down and away.
Tony Kanaan also in as well here on lap 49. An 8.3 second stop for TK and other takers as well. The 3-car of Helio Castroneves, you saw on side-by-side, he had gotten around for 4th place. He surrenders that position, and meanwhile, Dixon is still out there logging laps. Rick DeBrule.
Yeah, EJ Viso, who started 16th, has moved up to 7th. They do a quick change. He says the car's a better racer than it was a qualifier.
And our race leader is coming in, Jamie.
And Scott Dixon says he needs more security in the rear. He's going to take 4 tires, make an air pressure adjustment to try to tighten up that rear end, give him more stability. But he also said that right as he was making, you see the crew cam right there, right front, putting on those Firestone Firehawks for who was your leader, Scott Dixon, down and away, clean stop.
Right now, Dario Franchitti is shown as the race leader, as he has yet to make his first stop, but we expect him any moment now. And your pit window, there he is, as Franchitti comes down pit lane. So the cycle continues here under green flag. Will Power in as well. We have been told he is having some radio communication problems, as they are still putting the full fuel load on our current points leader in the IZOD IndyCar Series.
I think that car looks like it's actually not parked in the correct spot in the pit box, because they were stretching that fuel cord.
And he is still there, and you can see now he finally gets out. And that is going to be very costly for the number 12 of Will Power.
Yeah, it just looked like it was a bit too far away from the wall. Maybe he missed his marks because the fuel was extended, and it was actually into the Buckeye, but it certainly looked like they had problems actually getting the fuel into the car.
So after cycling through our first round of green flag pit stops, Scott Dixon again reasserts himself as the race leader. So with lap 52, now lap 53, getting business as we are working here just past the quarter mark of the Kansas Speedway race. The NBA playoffs continue on ABC Sunday. First at 1 Eastern, it's the Bucks taking on the Hawks. Game 7 of their first round action. Then at 3:30 Eastern, the Lakers host the Jazz. Game 1 of the Western Conference semifinals. It's NBA playoff action on ABC Sunday.